right, so here is my cheat. I had never made this until I think it was the year before last. There was just something about using a mix that I didn't like when I thought of canning. But I tried it and I loved it. So it has turned out to be one of Eric's favorites. So this is what I canned for him along with another recipe that I do make from scratch. And I'll bring you along for that the next time I do it. But for now, this is the one that I am making today. So it is, you can buy this in a smaller pack too that makes, I think, like 6 pints or something like that. But we go through a lot of salsa. And on the back here, let me just zoom in there so you can see. It gives you the ingredients for making it fresh. Or you can see there, well, if my finger will work, 17 cans of petite diced regular or low sodium tomatoes. I bought the bigger cans of the diced tomatoes, and I measured out, if you get to reading the ingredients down here, this should yield about 28 cups. So what I did, I just measured out 28 cups. I bought a whole bunch of the diced tomatoes and also crushed tomatoes to kind of mix up the texture a little bit. So I opened up a bunch of cans and I measured out 28 cups, and here's the lime juice. And if I remember correctly, the last time I did this, I ended up using the whole bottle because I tend to like the lime flavor. So I used a lot of lime. And in here is my pot of the tomatoes that I've measured out. And let me get you set up on the tripod and I'll bring you back while I'm adding the other ingredients. All right, so I have my tomatoes measured out in my big pot. And I think I told you guys this before, but my burner, the element, went out on the front of my stove here. So I'm going to be heating it up on the back burner here and getting my jars warmed up on the front burner over here. But before I get all that heated up, I want to get everything mixed in right there since it sits back a little bit ways on the stove. So we're going to get our mix in first. I'll kind of show you guys. Doesn't that just look, oh, yum. Oh, and it smells so good. Honestly, had I not had my nose stuck up in the air about mixes, I would have tried this many, many moons ago and been very happy with it. So if you've never tried it, don't be like me and don't stick your nose up at it because it's really good. So the recipe calls for that entire canister of the mix, and I think it says, I'm not gonna think, I'm just gonna look at the box here. Makes 14 pints, so we'll see if that works out. I mean, if you're making 28 cups of tomatoes, you should get 14 pints, but excuse the dog, she heard something she didn't like, so she's gonna bark. Pinky. All right, so I have my measuring spoon or my measuring cup that I used with the tomatoes. And I'm going to measure out my lime with the thought that I'm going to keep the excess because I'll taste it. You can add lime to it, you just can't take it away. So that's what I'll be doing if I need to. So we should get 1 1/3 is how much it calls for, the recipe calls for. So I'm going to kind of eyeball the third. That's probably closer to 1/2 actually. And you know what? There really is not, guess what? I'm just going to add it. Just going to add it. We'll get that all stirred in there. Eric is going to be a happy camper when he comes home and has some more salsa to eat. He just told Becca the other day, tell your mom to make some more salsa. I have some in there that turned out really, really runny. and he doesn't like runny salsa. I'll eat runny salsa. He likes the chunky stuff, so. If this were for me, I probably would end up heating this up and blending it because I actually prefer a smoother consistency to my salsa. The taste is good, but texture-wise, I prefer it more like the restaurant style, you know? All right, so we're gonna get this heating up on the back burner, and I'm going to get my jars heating up on my front burner here, and when I'm jarring them up, I'll bring you back. So I just thought I would bring you guys along real quick before it's all heated up to kind of show you how that looks. Get the nice chunks, and as they sit in that tomato juice that's in there, they'll plump up a little bit more. So I'll bring it back in for a close-up once it's warmed up. So the salsa has got to a boil, and it simmered for 10 minutes per the instructions, and now it is ready to be jarred up. So I thought I had you guys situated a good way, but apparently I did not. Well, it depends, I guess, how we want to look. I think you'll be able to see the jars there getting jarred up that way. Yeah, there we go. That'll be good. Oh, it smells so good. I'll give you guys a close-up of it in the jars once I get it jarred up as well. Oh, and you know what I didn't look at? I didn't look at what the headspace needed to be. Hold on 1 second. Probably will be 1/2 inch, but I want to make sure. Leaving 1/2 inch headspace. Yep, perfect. All right, so a little bit more in there. And we're gonna debubble. That might be, well, that is good, okay. Get them wiped off. And these are going to have to can once the water gets up to a boil for 40 minutes. Let's see how well that shows up. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, lots of good looking veggies in there. Alright, so we'll just continue filling these up until I have a canner load, which will be 9 jars.